Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is JGOD. In today's video, we're going to talk about the viability of the brand new DLC weapons that were just added as part of this DLC update as part of Season 4. There's a lot of talk about the brand new CR-56 AMAX being the #1 weapon because it has a faster time to kill, and I did a full video kind of on the different attachments, recoil patterns. So now that I've gone through, did all the challenges for these, gotten them gold, which also unlocked Damascus for both of them, I think I have enough playtime to kind of give my thoughts on where they'll actually fit in the meta for both Core as well as Warzone, which has the 250 health. If you learn anything from this video, make sure you hit the like button. I do have a goal in today's video of 1,500 likes, so if you can help me hit that number, definitely be appreciative. And if you're brand new, looking to find your way back because you like this type of content or other tips and tricks videos, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. So just the initial thoughts, I think the AMAX ends up being a top 5 rifle within the game. I think it's up there with the M4, with the Growl. I don't think it's better than the Growl just because it's not as laser accurate at range. And I think you need a little bit more ammo for it to compete, just because the ammo that it gives you is a 45 round mag. So I think one of the biggest drawbacks is the same issue that a lot of these higher caliber weapons have had, except for the AK-47, which has a 45 round drum mag, which is for the Scar, it's capped at 30, and the Odin, which is capped at 30 as well. I think this one needs an additional ammo increase for it to be able to compete with the Growl, even just a little bit. And then maybe the Growl has its recoil increased slightly, and then you'll end up with like a 3 or 4 rifle meta instead of just a 1 rifle meta, which is currently going on. Kilo kind of steps in there a little bit, but it just all depends on overall preference, and that's specific to Warzone. When it comes to multiplayer, I would say that the AMAX fits in right between the Ram, the M4, the Growl, and the Kilo. It's kind of all in there, especially since its damage ranges are all right around that 30 to 40 meter mark, and they're kind of all aligned there. It kind of just depends on your preference. All those weapons do very well because 90% of your engagements are within that 40 meter range. Now when it comes to the Fennec, which some are going to call the Vector, I think this weapon overall has a lot of potential, and I think this one has a similar issue to the M13, and that is it has a very fast fire rate. The M13 has a little bit above 900. This one's right around 1,100 rounds per minute. And how that ends up mixing things up is that when you land those chest shots, land the headshots, and you're incredibly accurate, you will melt all the way up to about 20 meters, and then there's significant drop off, and the bullets just do less damage than its contemporary. So if you compare this with the MP5, it's doing less damage. It's doing pretty much less damage than a lot of the other rifles, but it makes up for that with a fast fire rate. Very similar to the M13, which has less damage than all the other 5.56 rifles, but it has the fire rate to kind of make up for it. And especially if you're laser accurate to hit those headshots, that can drop the time to kill significantly. So overall, I think the weapon is perfectly balanced the way it is. I think it definitely has that melt potential. It has its place, but 40 rounds drum mag is not enough. They need to bump that up to maybe 50, 55, 60. 60 is probably right where they need to cap it, and that would make it very competitive, especially since it's doing way less damage, has a faster fire rate than the MP7, and the MP7 has a much larger mag at 60 rounds. So that's kind of where I think the balancing is for this, and I think that's how they could tweak these weapons so that they could be a little bit more meta, mix up the meta a little bit, and overall how they fit in. So for the Vector, when you're thinking about it, what ends up being the issue in Warzone is it takes a lot of bullets to kill. Even though it can kill very fast and very competitive with a lot of the other SMGs, particularly the MP5, it's very competitive with. The issue is that you're not going to be able to take on multiple targets because it takes a lot of shots to kill, and then you end up running into the same issue. So they're going to have to reconsider that. I think they need to extend this mag just a little bit. Same way they've done with the Ram, where it bumped it up from 45 to 50, and that allowed it to be a little bit more viable. I still think they need to bump it up to 60 in that case, but obviously that is pretty much how it works. So overall, I think they're both top tier weapons. I think this one has a little bit more struggles, especially if you're inaccurate, because you will burn through ammo the same way you will with the M13. So that is the main thing I wanted to talk about in today's video. I want to give you guys a weapon update because there's apparently a guy named Unforgiven who also streams on Twitch, only has 57 followers. Definitely go check him out. I'm going to link him down in the description. He's kind of gone through and done something to be a little bit more accurate. He actually created this site where it kind of has all the different data, so you guys can go ahead and check out how the aim down sight works for all the various weapons with the various attachments. And his precision is 4 times more accurate than myself, Drifter, and Exclusive Ace, because he measures everything at 240 hertz, which is 4 times more accurate than 60 frames per second. So what we'll do is kind of just show you a little bit of how it works, and then you guys can start using this if you kind of want to stack weapons. And I thought I'd show it off just because I think it's a great tool to help you out when building the classes, and it'll add a little bit more precision to my class setup, because one frame at 60 FPS is approximately 17 milliseconds, where this ends up being 4.7 milliseconds per frame, which is 4 times more accurate. So pretty much if we were to look at the brand new weapon, for example, we can kind of go through the site here, and it has all the various ranges and stuff like that too. You can see that he just added the new weapons with the fully ADS and range tested and added to the site. So he updates this very frequently. It doesn't look like he's making videos or any kind of content related to it. He does stream, like I said, on Twitch, so definitely show him a little bit of love. That's going to be linked down in the description. But what you can do here is if I go over to the brand new weapon right here, the CR-56 AMAX, I can go ahead and click on this, and then it's going to have the ADS speed right here. 279, that's the base ADS speed. And then what you can do is edit the various attachments. Ammunition, it ends up saying 9 milliseconds, whereas in mine, that would have been 0 frames or half a frame because of the precision with this. So you can get a little bit more precision there. You can add on that attachment. If we go to the muzzle, you can see the monolithic suppressor is actually a frame and a half. Sometimes it's 2 frames, sometimes it's 1. It really depends on the weapon, but the frame rounding really messes stuff up. This is going to give you tons more accuracy when you're comparing these different attachments. A lot of times with a muzzle brake, I was saying that was half a frame because it's really hard to measure, and this one is cut even further than that, and this ends up being like a quarter of a frame difference. So when you're making those decisions, it can kind of change how you decide to make your class setup. So let's say we go ahead and go with the overall class setup that would make. So that's 25 milliseconds, is about a frame and a half at 60 FPS, but in this particular case, it's closer to about 5 frames. We can go with the Zodiac, which slows it down a little bit. If I want to go through the various optics, he's gone through all of those, so you can have an idea of how those work for every single attachment. And then when we go through the laser sight, I think this one, I talked to him a little bit about it. It looks like a lot of the attachments are percentage based. So for example, with the monolithic suppressor, it's going to slow down your aim down sight by X%. Since a lot of the weapons are within a certain frame, you can see right here that it ends up being 25 milliseconds. So he's working on something that's going to be even more accurate than this. But this is what we have in the meantime. So tac laser, negative 41 milliseconds, or approximately in this case, it'd be like 2.5 frames. Also, when it comes to the stock, a lot of these would be like 1.5 to 2 frames. And then now we got the no stock, which is closer to 2.5 frames. So you can kind of make these decisions with a little bit more precision, which I think I've been lacking in Exclusive Ace and Drifter, just because we're not doing things at 240 Hertz, especially with the higher capabilities that will provide. You can see that the Merc and the Ranger are pretty aligned there. I go with the Ranger if you want to be a little bit faster, I guess. The Merc's going to help you with the hip fire control, but when we looked at that recoil patterns, they were fairly even. So there's the trade-off. Do you want to do what? But now there's an actual difference versus just saying they're both about 1 frame, when in reality, they're about a frame to a frame and a quarter. So there you get a little bit more precision, and like I said, I'm gonna start incorporating this stuff into my videos. And then rear grip, if we want the stipple grip tape, which is gonna be faster. So if I want to calculate this, all I'd have to do is get the 279 base, 279, and then we plus 25, plus 54, plus 17, minus 41, plus 9, and then I'd end up with an ADS speed of 343 milliseconds with that individual class setup. And that's pretty much what you do to compare classes, see how they feel, individual recoil. And I think this takes it a step further, so you can just have a little bit more precision, and it doesn't feel like, well, why are all these attachments here if they do the exact same thing? When you break it down further and go at the 240 Hertz, it ends up being a complete game changer. So I'd highly encourage you to check this site out. I'm going to link that down in the description. If you want to be able to find his channel as well, you can see he's live as of when I was recording this video. You can just click that link. Go ahead and drop him a follow. If you have any questions about this, or if you want to put input into it, maybe he'll incorporate it in the site, and that'll make it a huge plus. You can check out different damage values, the shot location, where you shoot them. So he does extreme testing, but it's all within his site, so it makes it really easy, and you can see when it gets updated and stuff like that. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you learned something new, please remember to hit that like button. If you're brand new, looking to find your way back just because you haven't subscribed, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on, so that'll be as easy as possible. Appreciate all the support on the channel. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.